So let us continue yesterday's session about operations on the process. I think we have already covered this part. So just to have a quick recap. Let me select more. Okay, fine. So we can create processes. The process creates another process. It's called as a parent process. Newly created process becomes child process. Okay, and there becomes a hierarchy, so tree-like structure between the processes. As I mentioned at the top, when operating system boots, init process is there with PID, that is one. Each and every process is identified by the PID. And while creating a process, different options are there for sharing the resources. Of course, how it is implemented depends on different operating systems, and even execution options are also available. Okay. So now we will discuss this part with respect to Unix or say Linux, wherein in order to create a process, we make use of fork system call. So this is a tree-like hierarchy that is created, as I mentioned, like process identifier, PID of init is 1. So this is the grandparent of all the processes. And as I already mentioned, except init, each and every process has the parent. So for example, for this bash process, login is the parent. So this is the relationship between the processes. So bash is child process, this is parent. Now for Emacs process, bash is a parent, right? So like our family tree, this tree of processes is created. Okay. Even as I already mentioned, you can have a look at this with the command pstree. This is the command for that, pstree. Okay. Now the creation of process. Let us continue with now address space. The most important part is child process duplicates its parent. This is important. And what is meaning of duplication is whatever code segment is there, data segment is there, extra segment, that is heap is there, or stack segment, each and everything is shared. It is duplication of each and everything. Okay. And child has a program loaded into it. Now what is the program loaded? It is the same program which is loaded for the parent, because it is just a duplication. And let me tell you, the text region of parent process is already loaded, right? And whenever you do fork, that is, if you create a child process, then what happens is it will be shared. Okay. And read write section of memory will be just duplicated. So if there are read sections, they will be shared. So for example, 5 blocks are there in the memory. You can imagine something like 1 block is equal to 1 KB, and 5 KB of code is there, text region, which is read-only code. No need to allocate separate 5 KB in the memory for the child process. So that is advantage of doing so. Now next, even looking at next, what I'll do is I'll share the code. Okay. And what yesterday I did is PID underscore T is the data type, PID. This is the variable I declared, which will hold the even before. Is it visible? Font is okay? Anybody? Fine. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll create the child process with fork, and now whatever I put here, whatever the thing I'll put here is something like, for example, printf hello, how are you, that is /n printf by printf end of program, whatever I'm displaying here. Okay, let me save it. Let me open the terminal. Move panel to right. Yes, fine. Ls, let me check where. No, it is not there. I guess in operating system 1, ls fork. Yes, it is available there. I just want to check the contents if I am in the same. Yes, no issue. Now let me compile it. I'm just using clang compiler. Anyways, GCC is again one and same. So clang fork.c, and now I want to execute it. And now you will find that hello, how are you by end of program. Hello, how are you by and end of program. You are getting the same output. How many times? 2 times. Why it is so? Reason behind this is very simple. Once you do fork here on line number say 12, then what exactly happens is this below code is executed once by parent and once by child process. Okay, so if the same thing is done by parent and child, why to go with fork then? Okay, maybe I can simply make use of for loop to repeat the things. Okay, even we need to understand. For example, if I put this part before fork, and now this is after fork, let me save it, again compile it, run it. Now, hello, how are you? This statement, which is line number 12 in the source code, is executed only once because it is happening before the fork. That means only one process is there, right? And one of the interesting, let me show you, man of get PID. So get PID and get PPID, which actually returns PID underscore T. It is just integer. No need to worry. It's unsigned integer. That's it. Okay. So get PID gives you process identifier. Whoever is calling this command, this system call, it will return process identifier of that process, and get PPID. So this is parent process's identification number. So parent's PID. So what I'll do is, okay, let me call this as a child PID, CPID and CPID. And this is fine. Now what I'll do here is PID underscore T. Let me utilize above. Now say my PID and parent PID, PPID. Okay. And now I want to display both the things after fork, say for example. Right. So here what I'll do is my PID is equal to get PID. This is the function. and this is from unistd.h file, so that I have already included. And parents PID is equal to get PPID, right? And now I just want to display my PID and PPID. Now this time you will definitely get something different. So what I'll do is printf my PID is equal to %d, comma, parent PID is equal to %d, and I just want to display it. So my PID and parent PID, that's it. Now let me save this code. Compile the program and run it. Now this time the statement on line number 12, that is hello how are you, displays only once. Now my PID is 10076 and parent's PID is 9980. Then it says end of program. Then my PID is 10077 and PPID is equal to 1. Now this is something interesting now again, because now what I'll do is before end of program, let me use something like sleep for say 3 seconds, right? Now let me tell you why I am doing so. First of all, let me execute this. See now what happened. Now try to compare the output here and output here. First line is okay. Hello, how are you? It is fine. Okay. Then what happens is my PID is 10093 and parent's PID is 9980. So definitely this is the parent process whose parent process is 9980. It could be the shell from where I am executing this program. Okay. And now parent process ID is 10093. I mean to say the parent process the main process which is executing. Now if the main process created another child process called as a denoted by CPID, that is making use of fork. And now previously what has happened is it displayed the PID and immediately it said end of program. So the sleep was not there. So parent was scheduled first. It displays printf, this one, return 0, and after return 0, the parent process expires before the child process. Okay. Such a child process is called as an orphan. So this is again important concept, orphan process. Let me put it here. In the comment, let me type it. If parent process finishes, or rather you can say dies, before child, then child becomes orphan process. Okay, and for orphan process, as I already mentioned, there is something on chat. Please explain what happened after adding sleep. Okay, that is fine. I'm coming there. Okay, so if parent process finishes before child, then child becomes orphan. And as I already mentioned, each and every process except the init process must have parent process. Okay, so the init process becomes parent. Remember this. So here init will be new parent for that. That is a grandparent, and that is the reason previously it was showing for the child process because parent has already finished. Then init process becomes the new parent. Okay. Now I added this sleep part. So what has happened when you create a child process on line number 14, line number 15 and 16 is executed for parent. Now printf, so parent process displayed here. For example, my PID is 10093 and PPID is 9980, right? Then there comes sleep, and meaning of sleep 3 is suspend the execution of this process for 3 seconds. So previously it was running, it moves to waiting, and now it is waiting for what? It is waiting for what? It is waiting to come out from sleep after 3 seconds. So kind of alarm will be there for the parent process, and parent process goes to sleep. Remember, it is not terminated. Okay, with sleep you are actually voluntarily surrendering the processor to other process. That is what the meaning of sleep is. Even if you see the manual page of sleep, I think it is in C. Yes. Suspend thread execution for an interval measured in seconds. So it suspends the execution of that process. Even though thread is mentioned there, no issues. By default, one thread of execution is there. So that is the terminology used in the manual pages. Anyways, again, what is the thing is, I am making use of Mac operating system right now. It's not Linux, right? Still it works because same the kernel of this operating system is again like BSD Unix. Now because we added sleep here, parent voluntarily given the control of processor to the child process. So child has executed this statement. It got PID of child, PPID of parent. Now this time still parent is alive. Parent has not finished. And that is the reason it got the correct. Now here you can see the relationship. So this process is parent for here, this child process. Previously, because parent died before the child process, init becomes new parent. And such process is typically called as an orphan process. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Yes, if you have any doubt, please put the question on chat. Rajvardhan, is it okay? The effect of adding sleep 3. Fine. Now, what I'll do is, I don't save anything. What I'll do is fork, semicolon, fork, and fork, and printf by. So I request everybody to put on chat how many times by will be displayed. Have a look at the program first of all, and how many times line number 13 will be executed. That is the by. Just put your answer on chat. Or let me create poll if it is immediately possible. Okay, I'll create a poll for that. Just a minute. Don't put your answer on chat. I'll create a poll. So how many times by will be printed? That is my question. and fine, open poll. Last 15 seconds. Till now, just 47. Fine. The problem is now I'll give option. How many times by will be printed? Let me add option here. 3 times, 4 times, 6 times, 8 times. Okay, now respond. Okay, now I'm closing the poll. It will be closed in 15 seconds. "91 students have responded." Fine. Now what I'll do is share with attendees. Hitesh Shinde has raised the hand. Just a minute. Can you see the result of poll? Can you see the result of poll? Okay, fine. So now option A, which I mentioned 3, is given by 32%. Now I don't know what is logic behind 3. Because I use 3 times fork, no? So definitely it will create 3 child process and 1 parent process is already there. So definitely 3 is wrong answer. Correct? But still, I guess that is the highest answer, 32%. Because I use fork, then fork, then fork. That means definitely it will create at least 3 child and 1 parent process where 1 main is already there. Because if you remember the previous program, what I mentioned is just 1 time fork and whatever the statement below that was displayed twice. Right? Now second highest answer is given to 6. That is option C. That is also wrong. But again, I guess the logic behind this is possibly, that is my guess. I use fork 1 time and in previous program, and I got output twice. So maybe you thought it is multiplied by 2. So here fork is 3 times multiplied by 2. So that is also wrong answer. Okay, that is also wrong answer. Now third most, option B, where 17% student given poll, that is 4. So that is also wrong. Reason, rather than saying reason, let us execute the code. Let me close this poll, and name of my program is fork.c, and I'll execute it and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it is 8 times. It is 8 times. And simple calculation, somebody mentioned on the chat, it is 2 raised to 3. My question is, why 2 raised to 3? Okay, that is important thing. And again, interesting part, when you execute this a dot out, after 2 display statement, it coming to my prompt again. Reason behind this is again very simple. Whenever parent finishes, because the terminal is attached to the parent from where you can interact. Okay, so this actually creates so many problems. That means all of these processes who displayed this by just I highlighted, they are all orphan processes. Okay, now why this is happening? Why 2 raised to 3? So the thing is, say on line number 9 nothing is there, but here only parent is there. On line number 10 only parent is there, but on line number 11, because previous fork was successful on line number 10, right? Here after this fork there are 2 processes. One is the main process, that is parent process. The next is the child process. Okay, now 2 processes are there, and 2 processes will execute the fork on line number 11. One is by main and one is by the child created on line number 10. Getting it? This one? There is a question on chat. But why parent printed 2 times? No, parent has not printed 2 times. If you are talking about this is printed by parent and this is printed by parent. No, that is wrong. What I am saying is, any one out of this is printed by the parent. Second one is printed by the child. Maybe this is by the child. This is by the parent. And once parent finished, parent is coming out of the terminal. So it is again command prompt, because that is the process in the foreground. So this is by one child, this is by the parent, and this is by all the child, all the children further. So here on line number 11, 2 processes will execute this. So how many processes will create here? Already 2 are there, and they will create 2 more processes. Getting it now? So 2 plus 2 is 4. That means this statement will be executed 4 times. Right? So 4 times, so already 4 are there, and this will be executed 4 times. So 4 plus 4, so it becomes 8. That is the reason. So simple formula is like 2 raised to 3. 2 raised to number of times fork is used. This is the question asked most of the time in aptitudes also. How many child processes will be created? Okay, and to make it simple, what I'll do is printf, I'll just display 1, printf 1, right? Let me copy this. After fork, after this fork, and after this fork, or rather than saying 1, what I'll do is I'll put some alphabet A, then B, then C, and forget about this by, I'll put there D, right? Let us save this. Now this time, as per our logic, what I expect is A will be printed only by parent process, so it will appear only once. Then I use fork on line number 11. So two processes are there. So BBB I expect 2 times. Okay. This fork will be executed 2 times. So 2 plus 2, 4. So I expect CCC 4 times. Here 4 times fork will be executed. That will create 4 more processes. So I expect DDD 8 times. Right. So let us check that. Let me clear the screen. Execute it. And see it here. AA is only once, BBB twice. Now C, 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 and C. It is displayed 4 times, and count for D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now again interesting part, why it is mixed? Why it is not A, then B, then C, and then D? Again, reason behind that is whenever you create the child process, you never know what is the sequence of execution. That will be totally decided by operating systems module called as scheduler. So scheduler will select that. Any doubt in this? Any doubt? Mansi Sonone, you got your answer? So it is not printed twice by the parent, it is by child. And if you really want proof of that, so rather than just displaying this one, printf A, B, 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 what you can do is how scheduler selects that. Aditya Kawai asked the question, how scheduler selects that? Okay. Depending upon type of operating system, anyways, we are going to see the different types of scheduling algorithms, right? So let us first upon see that scheduling algorithms, and then you will come to know depending upon which scheduler is used by the operating system, that is the policy by operating system. Okay, Mansi Sonone says there is one more doubt. Yes, go ahead, ask the question. Even you can unmute and you can ask the question. If we run this program again, then it will print out different output. Exactly, this is very good question. What I'll do is, I'll again execute it. Let me again execute it. See, definitely you'll get some sort of difference. Mansi Sonone says, please explain second fork 2 plus 2 times. Okay. Before that, Omkar Tolekar, sir, can we say that for execution, next time sequence will be different? Yes. Here you can see it. I executed. Now this time, how sequence is coming? All right. So every time it will be different. We never know. We never know. So 2 plus 2, fine. Let us come back to the program. Let us come back to the program. See, this is the important topic because you need to understand first of all this internals of how processes are created and how they are interacting with each other, how scheduler selects them. Because that is the main requirement for the next units, interprocess synchronization and communication. Okay. So for example, is it first of all clear? Line number 11 will be executed by only one process, and that is the parent process, and that will result in total of 2 processes. One is parent, which is already there when we execute the code, and second one is because of this fork is created. So 2 processes are there. So definitely this will be executed by 2, and again this will be executed by 2, and this results in, because 2 times fork mean I definitely create two more processes. So this results in 4. That is what the 2 plus 2 is. 2 plus 2 means already 2 processes are there, and they executed fork. So one process executes fork, creates another child process. Second process executes fork, that also creates a child process. That is the reason I mentioned 2 plus 2. So that becomes 4. So at the end of line number 13, there will be 4 processes, and then this statement will be executed by all those 4. That is the reason C, this output we are getting 4 times. Now, definitely this will be also executed by 4 different processes. And because it is executed by 4 different processes, each execution creates a new child process. So already we have a 4, and they created 4 more processes. So this becomes 4 plus 4, that is equal to 8. And that is the reason this DDD statement will be executed 8 times. Fine? Is it clear? Fine. Okay. Okay. Now let us come back to the interesting part. Uh, even if you don't want to create the orphan processes, as I mentioned, if parent finishes before the child, say for example, PID underscore T is a child PID, and child PID is equal to fork. So I created something here. And now below, actually I want to distribute the code separate for the parent process and separate for the child process. Okay. So assume that I just want to display I am parent, and that will be definitely executed by just parent, and another statement is I am child, and that way I want to execute by just child process. So for that, as I mentioned yesterday, the fork, it returns 3 types of things. One is some positive number, one is something negative number, and one is 0. 0, positive and negative. And this positive number will be for parent, and which is the PID of child. Meaning of this is very, very simple. Parent always know what is the process identifier of child process. Negative number is whenever your fork system call fails. Again, you may wonder why fork fails. The thing is, in order to create the process, what we need is the resources. Memory is there, PCBs are required, so many other steps are also required. And if those resources are not available, creation of child process fails. And this fact will be conveyed to the main process who is trying to create the child process by negative return value. So if the value is negative, that means fork is failed. And 0, this value is for the child process. So that means if fork is successful, then it will return PID of child to the parent process and 0 to the child process. And that we can utilize here. So if child's PID equals 0, okay, now 100%, this is the code for child process. And even we can put something like else. This is 100% code for parent process. So this is the way of distributing the separate code. Okay. So for example, so child process, let us say printf, I am child process with the PID is equal to %d. I just want to display both the things, and parents process ID is, and let me use get PID and get PPID directly here. Okay, and the same thing I want to do for the parent process. Only thing is now I am parent process with PID something and with PPID something. Doesn't matter. Let us save it. Now, previously what was happening is the statements below that fork was executed by both. Now I distributed based on the value of return type. So let us compile this. Get PPID. Oh, I forget %d equal to %d slash n equal to %d slash n. Save it. Let me close this one first. Okay. Compiled it and now execute it. Now here again the same problem. Now see here, I am child process, I am parent process. So parent is scheduled first. Now again observe here. Before finishing child, in this parent release terminal also. So it is coming after dollar. Maybe child process will be scheduled. See, for example, after executing so many times, now I got it properly. Where first of all, child is scheduled by scheduler. Then definitely it gives correct parent ID, which is the process ID for a parent process. See here, 10347, 10347. This has to be get matched. Here what is happening? Where PPID is 1, parent is dying before child process. I'm saying dying, right? In this situation, what happens is very simple thing. The child process becomes orphan process and init process becomes child of orphan. That's it. So very simple rule. Is there any way so that parent will wait for completion of child? I repeat, is there any way where parent process will wait for completion of child? Yes, this is possible, and that is possible because of this two functions are there actually, wait and wait PID. Wait, forget about all these. Wait and wait PID. Now with wait, parent will wait for child's termination, no doubt, but now for which child? Because if you have more than one children, then wait will wait till termination of any of the child. Where with wait PID, you can specify the PID of child process for whom you are waiting. So you can specify, yes, I want to wait for this particular child. So that is wait PID. Now let us, I simply make use of wait. Now what is this? int star stat underscore log. So whatever is returned by the child process, it will be stored. So it is actually the status location. Stat log is status location. So what was the status of the child when he finished? So whenever we are doing this return 0, so this is converted to this status. Okay. So for example, here what I can do is, here I'll make use of wait, and if you are not interested for that status, you can simply pass the null pointer, no problem. Or if you are interested in the status, you need to declare one variable of type integer. Say for example, I use here status and then pass pointer of that because it is int star. So wait ampersand status. And before this, you can put one statement, something like printf parent is waiting for child to finish, right? Parent is waiting for child to finish. And here, after wait, if you are reaching here, that means child has already finished. So I can say got signal, got, or rather I can say child finished. I am terminating. Maybe main will again terminate. No problem. So now have a look at this. I'll take it here. Make it simple. Just have a look at the code. Now we are going. When you look at the program, it is becoming some sort of complex now. So let us start. Variable. I created child process. Now if the child's PID is equal to 0, then this is a child process, otherwise parent process. Now what parent does, parent will just display one message. Now it will say I'm waiting for child, and this is the way of waiting. Once you are, this is blocked call, this is blocking call. Once you come out of this, fine, child is finished. Now parent also want to terminate, something like that. So let us save it. Let me open the terminal, compile it, and execute it. Now here, every time definitely you will get for the child process. Now see here, I am parent process with PID. Parent is scheduled first this time. Parent is waiting for child to finish. Now it goes in waiting state. And if I want to prove this, what I'll do is, let me use sleep here. That means child process will go to sleep. But still, even though parent is scheduled, parent also has to wait because of this wait. So even though parent process is scheduled, okay, still in that case, it has to wait for the termination of child. Now let me put one more thing. I am child, I am done. The child process done everything. And here, what I'll do is exit 5. I'm exiting something, some value. Okay. Now, again compile it. Now execute it. See, I am parent. Parent is waiting for child. I am child process, and around 3 seconds it wait. Remember, when say parent is waiting, after that everything is coming from child. So I'm a child process with PID, and parent's PID is the actually parent process's ID. Child says I am done. Then it got signal to the parent process. Then parent says child finished, I am terminating. And somebody asked the question, what is the status? Is it any random thing? No, it is not random. Okay, child finished with status equal to %D. Let us put in this way now. And the value of status I just want to display, which I got from here. And now again I'll compile it and I'll run it, and this time you'll get some value as a status, and this status is 1280. Is there any relation of this 5 with? Yes, there is a relation of that. So that is actually error code, and depending on what kind of things are there, different error codes are there. So for example, if I say exit with something else, exit 10, let me save it. Now previously it was 1280, compile it, run it. Now I expect something else. That is the status, say 2560. Okay. So these status codes will be converted actually. Okay. So they provide some sort of status to the parent process. Okay. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Fine. Now the next part is, can I replace the in-memory copy of any process? Let me tell you, in-memory copy of process. Anyways, process is in memory. So in short, I can say, can we replace the copy of process? So answer to this is yes. Now meaning is, I want to give some sort of task to the child process here on say this block, but I don't want to write code here. Code is already there. Code is already available. Can we do that? Yes, that is possible. So what I'll do is, that call is exec. Exec is actually not a single call. It is family of call, exe, exec. I need to go with third section of exec. Yes. EXECL, CLE, CLP, CV, CVP, something like this. Okay. Now with this, what happens is, now let me show you directly. In here, I'll select EXE CLP, for example, or maybe just EXECL, wherein now if you look, its syntax, I use EXECL, const character star path, argument 0, argument 1, and at the end what it expects is null pointer. 0 is converted to character star. It is a null pointer. Okay. So you can go on giving multiple arguments there. And the arguments are given as a const character star. So character star is your string. Okay. So for example, what I'll do is, cal is the command which displays the calendar. And if you see what is the path of cal, it is user bin cal. So I use which command? Which cal? Meaning of this is, give me the full path of where is cal. If you ask where is cal, it will say you like user bin cal. Now you can execute user bin cal. Both are actually same thing. Only thing is here we are making use of path environmental variable. Okay. So user bin cal is the command which I expect to be executed by my child process. So what I'll do is /user/bin/cal. That is the very first thing. Now what is the first argument? Now if you are already aware of command line arguments, then this becomes very, very simple. Okay. And always remember, the first argument is always name of your executable file. Or rather, if I just give null, or rather I can say 0, that's it. So child process, it will show PID and PPID, and it will go to sleep for 3 seconds. And now this want to execute EXECL. That's it. And here, let me put something like printf child want to execute cal command, something like this, and printf done. I'll simply say done. Let me save it and again execute the same code. So I'll compile it and let me execute it. I am parent process, this is as expected. Parent is waiting for child to finish, this is expected. I am child process with PID, this is expected. Child want to execute cal command, this was also expected, but then there is a problem. Okay, this is the problem. Then child terminated and you are getting child finished. What is this problem? Because as I mentioned, /user/bin/cal, comma 0. Let me save it, compile it, run it. Now this time I'm getting perfect output. So cal is executed. What was problem here? See, I repeated it twice. Reason behind that is, always remember, command line arguments always expect name of the program as the first argument. So I need to repeat it twice. So user bin cal, user bin cal. Now say for example, I need calendar of 2021, and then 0. Is it exactly something like I want to execute this command 2021? Okay. So, and now run it. You'll definitely get. But again, after calendar command, whatever done is there, it is not displayed. Right? Calendar is coming there, no doubt. Even if you see the earlier output, forget about this. I executed something like see here, after calendar, in capital letters done, which is on line number 21, is not displayed there. Reason behind that is, once you execute execl, what happens is it will replace in-memory copy. So whatever printf done is there, that is also gone. That is also vanished. So earlier process is totally removed. So if execl is successful, whatever the next statement after execl for that process will never be available. So I just use cl. Even you can use clp also. Now once you give clp, no need to give total path. You can simply say the command. The reason is, when you attach p there, meaning of that is consult the path environmental variable to locate the executable file. So this time also you'll get the correct thing. But if you use CLE here, so that E stands for make use of environmental variable, P stands for make use of path environmental variable. Anyways, you can go in details of. Oh, I think we have already running out of time. So we'll stop here. Any question is there? We'll definitely take it on in the next session. Okay. So